This is Trinity Tiger Alerts with Isaac Kruger, Finn O'Sullivan, Harris Horowitz. Let's ride.
What is up, Trinity Tiger Alerts? We're back after an extended spring break hiatus. Don't worry, James Duffy, we didn't forget about you. As always, I'm the Prez.
I'm Sully.
And I'm H the 22nd.
And we took the past month off to get some nice rest and relaxation as we hit the Bahamas. But unfortunately in the Bahamas, we were met by our international fan base.
Booming international fan base.
And by fans, we actually mean three girls from Riverdale who would not stop following us around Atlanta's premier fan meetup spot, Aura.
Yeah, well, last time we were here, we got to celebrate some incredible accomplishments from our Trinity athletes, ranging from Windangle to Windangle. But the first week of the spring season, well, unfortunately, it has not been as satisfying as I could hope.
Yeah, Trinity's baseball, softball, and lacrosse teams went a combined 0-9 in the first week of the season.
Yeah, starting with guys lacrosse, the defending Ivy League champions have run into some issues after the loss of seniors Drew and Lorenzo, dropping their first two games of the season in emphatic fashion. The Avery Gallucci curse also might be making a comeback, as Oliver Bradford, Bobby Flagg, Lucas Southwell, and Nathaniel Shalom are all out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, though sources do say Oliver Bradford is still a go for Friday night.
Mai Chung Sing stole home, and Bailey Link struck out a combined 21 batters in the first two games for girls softball. But unfortunately, their efforts were not enough to save the Tigers from two heartbreaking one-run losses.
For girls lacrosse, even Natalie Chen could not hold down the fort for the Tigers, as they had a heartbreaking loss this week, which ended 17-2. Placing Natalie Chen in a position that Duke Hogan Murphy was in sophomore year, rolling around in a wheelchair. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for them, well, maybe unluckily, they did lose again against Riverdale yesterday, but they managed to keep the game a little bit tighter, as it was only a single-digit match.
Yeah, the same cannot be said for the boys' baseball team. The Luke Arcella Goon Squad only made it 5 innings in their matchup against the Falcons before going down by way of the Mercy Rule in a 15-2 loss.
Yeah, well, speaking about the Mercy Rule, unfortunately, the Trinity Esports team also sucked. Cullen Cena and his fellow Finger Warriors lost their first Valorant playoff match, and I'm unfortunate to say that will be their last playoff match as well, because they lost 13-2 against some highly ranked Stick Masters from Summerville, South Carolina.
The only Trinity teams to get a W this week were actually the boys golf team and the newly formed boys volleyball team.
Yeah, I guess you could say Christopher Smith's emails appear to pay off after all, as volleyball is undefeated to start the season, and they're showing no signs of slowing down.
That is true.
Boys golf also won their season opener against Riverdale in controversial fashion. That match came down to Petroleum itself, Gerard Hayter, who rigged the markets in his favor to win a lost ball dispute against his Riverdale competitor and mined victory away from the unfortunate poor little Falcons.
That's gasoline, some may say.
Petroleum.
Well, that does actually surprise me, because I received some intel from Michael Saka from some film of his Snapchat spectacles of some of the boys practicing, and yeah, it does not look pretty.
Pierre, can we get those on the screen right now, please?
Oh, ooh. That's not. Well, that's Nick Robinson, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, well, those clips were, how do you call it, of lesser players on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, to get insight on the golf team's actual success, we picked up two of Trinity's premier golf players in a new segment we like to call the Trinity Masters.
Roll it.
Our opening hole is a dogleg left through the quiet section of the library.
And is that Carolina gone in the corner?
That is Shiv. That is Shiv.
Yeah, you like left to right now.
Aim for the ball. You see the ball? Which ball?
And first up, we've got Phineas Lonergan and his trusty caddy Wyatt. So yeah, the ball looks like it's going loose. I believe it has just quite missed the cup. Yes, it has. It's hit the cameraman, unfortunately. And it seems like Maddie Magliaro has a plan for Audrey. Audrey slices it down the wooden planks. It seems to be getting quite the momentum on it, and I fear that this could be going far. And yes, my fear was correct, because it is intriguing Shiv.
And it is intriguing Finn's crotch.
Oh, right. Well, back to Finn. He seems to be having a nice putt setup. He's got the book on the back, a little bit tight spacing-wise, but we'll love to see what he can veer here. And it seems to be a little bit short, but not one more hit can recover. His caddy Wyatt seems to be inspecting. All right, well, back to Audrey and Maddie. They seem to be having a very concrete plan, but once again, Shiv seems absolutely dumbfounded by the girls and their golf skills. Will she prove Shiv wrong? Oh, Lord, oh, gracious, oh, golly, she will not. We've hit the metal. Mallier. Oh, and it seems she's caused quite the commotion in the area with the books. Will she be able to save it? Oh, we've got some movement.
That shot from Mallier actually will not count. We're going to give her a little bit of relief as she tees up for her third shot. Nice roll. Not a nice roll. Oh, a little bit of banter there from Lonergan. Let's see if he can back it up.
And Lonergan seems to be preparing for his putt. Could this be the final putt for hole 1 for Lonergan?
Yes, it is!
And it is clear. His caddy Wyatt once again has succeeded. Well, back to Mallier. Mallier, she's not had too much luck on hole 1, but I believe she could be coming. And oh God, it has gone farther. We have another hit from Mallier. Oh, it is quite near, but not quite. And for the final putt, potentially, Mallier, will she land it? And it's sunk. Triple bogey for Mallier. As we move on to hole 2.
Lonergan with a 3-shot lead after the first hole. Phineas, take us through your plan for the second hole through the not-a-hallway biology classroom.
Well, this is an interesting one here because you don't want to miss right here. We got obstacles all the way right. That's a little close. Obstacles all the way right, and then we have a big tree standing right in the center, out of nowhere.
Is that a tree?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Phineas, hit your shot.
All right, let's get going.
Lonergan did seem to note his trouble with the trees on the course. I hope they're not going to be providing an issue here as he prepares for his hit. Seems to be going quickly on the biology floor.
Oh, it's hit the tree. Damn tree.
And as expected, it did hit the tree for Lonergan. Hopefully Mallier does not have a similar result.
Heavy favorite coming into this matchup, but the first hole did not go as planned. Audrey, tell us how you're planning to attack the second hole.
So I'm planning, I think I have a clear, straight path here. I think I'm just going to go for it and have a lot less speed than the last hole.
Maddie, you're the caddy. You did your job terribly on the first hole. How are you going to do it better here?
I just think you need to calm down the swings, take a deep breath, and you'll be fine.
I personally love the advice to keep taking deep breaths in such a slow game. It's quite vital. As Mallier prepares, it looks as if we have a guest visitor, Mr. Dornhauser, checking out the course. Well, that is not going to distract Mallier as she prepares for her hole, first swing. As similar to Lonergan, the floors seem to be quite giddy as she seems to be the ball sliding. Dodging the tree, not quite. It seems as if we're underneath the skeleton, and she will put the marker down. Lonergan seems to be doing a little bit of a dance here. We're not quite sure, but his caddy seems to have a plan. Mr. Zoya seems to be attacking the desks. I'm not sure what's going on here. And it seems... Oh, Lord, he has fallen. My God, that boy Zoya is an absolute wreck on the course at the moment. But it will not stop Lonergan from continuing his play. He seems to have a clear angle on the green, and I'm looking forward to bringing what Lonergan can bring to the table. He has a nice clean hit, but not clean enough as he misses the green ever so slightly, which gives Mallier the edge to really catch up in this competition due to her poor playing in hole 1. She places a marker down, and by God, Mr. Zoya, what was going on there, I do not know, and hopefully no more destruction will be taking place on this course. But I'm sure Mallier has a plan, and she very eagerly looks as if she's right here to make the recovery. Mallier does seem as if... Oh, looks like she's going to be destructing the course herself a little bit. A little practice shot, ain't hurt nobody. And she prepares to, hopefully, sink this hole. It goes... Oh, just not quite. It hits the green, but it's alright. Lonergan now going for that hit. Seems as if it's gone a little bit long due to the slippery behaviour of the biology floors. And we've got Mallier and par. She matches it. A beautiful play by Mallier. And Mr. Lonergan... Lovely as he sinks the bogey, and we move on to hole 3. Now moving on to hole 3, the final hole of the Trinity Masters. This is a par 2 with a 2-stroke reduction if one does make it through the loop-de-loop and right into the yellow. Our final hole. Starting with Lonergan, he has a nice lead. Will he make it through the loop-de-loop? Not quite, with a little bit of a bouncer right to the right of the loop-de-loop with great speed next to the freshman girl studying. Now moving on to Mallier. Mallier does need this to be a successful putt for her to be back into this competition, and, well, I'm really hoping for it. Let's see what happens here. Another screamer to the right seems to be following Lonergan's footsteps, unlike the freshman girls who have disappeared due to his intimidating presence. But moving on to Lonergan. Lonergan seems to be setting up, hoping for a nice putt to really end this match. And let's see what he has. Preparing. And no, it seems to be veered right, and his caddy Wyatt looks absolutely devastated. Maddie will set it up for Audrey. Malier will be getting down with the ground, being one with the ball. Very interesting choice. She seems to be taking this sport very, very seriously. And oh, she made direct eye contact with the cameraman, most likely Harris Horowitz. He is a good-looking man. Now she seems to be putting and preparing. Let's see. And it veers ever so slightly left, but once again, it's golf. It's anyone's game. Well, not maybe Wyatt's, as he seems to be smelling the ball. Very interesting choice by the caddy. Lonergan seems to have UV glasses. Oh, no longer has them on anymore. He seems to be very confident with his eyesight. Well, let's see if that confidence proves itself. And it does. Lonergan closes out a beautiful match.
That was some really solid putting out there from Audrey and Phineas. Now I can understand why star varsity basketball player Dima Galanin cannot make the starting lineup of the varsity golf team.
Yeah, and also, British Finn was something else. I mean, those early years of the Irish repertory appear to have paid off big time.
Yeah, well, I'd really like to thank my teacher, Zeno Steffens, who received his accent sophomore year of Trinity when he realized it would help him with girls.
Yeah, Zeno, we know that accent is fake as fuck.
Well, you know what isn't fake?
The leech on Zeno Steffens' butt
Yep.
he acquired in Panama over spring break. Really brutal stuff. Though I would hope that Zeno's butt leech does not distract from the talent we just saw on screen a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, shout out to Audrey especially, even though she didn't get the job done today. She's been the top performer for the golf team so far.
Yeah, and speaking of women in sports, we'd like to take a page out of Dalton's book for our next segment, honoring Trinity's female athletes. So move aside Dalton Women's Sports and move ahead Ronan Luff.
Roll it.
Hi, I'm Ronan Luff, and I'm here with some of Trinity's premier female athletes. And I'm going to be asking some questions, answering some questions about women in sports.
Thank you, Ronan. Our first question is about the varsity softball team. Who is their starting pitcher?
Juliet Brightman.
That is incorrect. It's Bailey Lake. Question 2, slow start for Ronan. Who's the leading goal scorer for girls lacrosse through 2 games?
Still, Don Haskell.
That is also incorrect. It's Charlotte Duffy. This kid does not know his women's sports. Question number 3, not even halfway done yet, Ronan. How many girls are on the golf team?
Teresa Edwards.
Correct. All right, moving on. The answer is 4. Question number 4. How many people are on a girls lacrosse field? 7. It's 10. Yeah, Ronan does not know his women. And our last question. Who leads Trinity varsity softball in runs batted in through 2 games?
Maya Chuck Singh.
That's correct! Let's go!
Sorry about that. You really did take it like a champ.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the old proverb says, if one does not know their Trinity women in sports facts, you will be splashed by the Keegans.
And Beck and Sophia.
That's what we got for this week's episode. Please show out for our teams this week. We really need you, especially varsity baseball. We're seeking our first win of the season this Friday against Horseman, Randall's Island. Please be there.
Yep, that is tomorrow. Boys of the Cross is also seeking their first win of the season against Horseman as well. And I believe Mr. Kruger has a special announcement for the track team.
All you, Isaac.
Poly relays, be there, be square. I'll be throwing a javelin for the first time ever, so it's going to be exciting stuff.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week.
I'll tell you when to go, Ara.
Speed, I am off.
Ready, set, go!
I got this.
Ooh.